What would you say to anybody considering working with ServiceNow and working with FlyForm?
Well, before this project, I'd never actually worked with ServiceNow. Obviously, I knew what it was because I had access to the IT service desk. But I was pleasantly surprised at how well our requirements and ideas could be put into place. So I would say, do your internal preparation first, like we did. Do your analysis, make sure you've got a good idea of what you want to get out of the project. And then the FlyForm will help you get your ideas delivered. That's what I would say. And also, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So, like I say, that 8-week period was quite intense. But we all worked hard as a joint team to get it delivered and over the line. In 7 weeks, 2 days after kickoff, we were live. So
awesome.
It's a good success story, I think.
How does FlyForm and ServiceNow compare to any other suppliers that you've worked with in the past? What makes FlyForm and what makes ServiceNow stand out for you?
For me, it was the delivery time, making sure we were on track, didn't go over time, didn't go over budget, worked collaboratively. We didn't kind of stretch out the project unnecessarily. And we did what we said we were going to do, and FlyForm did what they said they were going to do.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's quite unique, right, in the market?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and also just incredibly supportive, because I do know that other companies probably aren't as responsive. We had a question, we were able to come to you with it, and probably within 24 hours you guys gave us an answer, which is pretty rare, because oftentimes you're sat waiting around for an answer from someone, and you have to knock again and be like, do you remember that we're here? So.
And what about ServiceNow? Have you guys worked with any other technologies and have experience with them?
We've got quite a few different technologies within the organisation, and we're kind of trying to rationalise some of those. We've got far too many different systems, and like Leah said before, our strategic aim is any new service desk is going to be hopefully on the ServiceNow platform, because we've had the success we've had so far.
Fantastic, and that sounds brilliant, and that is all we want to be able to do with you guys, is to bring more of your working world onto ServiceNow.
Yeah, cool.
So what further reaching outcomes are you expecting to see, or are you aiming to achieve?
Well, this property implementation service desk has only been in place for 3 months, but over time we expect to be able to diagnose and understand how many issues are being logged at particular properties. So we can build up a picture of recurring issues with particular assets like boilers or aircon units or whatever it might be, and understand that if we replace those assets with a more efficient one, then we're saving money on repairs, and that means we've got more money then to invest in our charitable aims and supporting blind and partially sighted people.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and there's also the effectiveness as well of response. Do you want to talk about that?
So obviously, just having a proper process in place has meant that, we're a lot more efficient in the way that we respond to queries. And so queries specifically raised by our tenancy staff that support our residences get managed far more quickly. So for example, if somebody called up and said, oh no, I've got a broken pipe, I've got water linking all over my apartment, it can be raised immediately and looked at straight away at the highest priority, whereas before it was probably a little bit slower because you had to go through, several different hoops before you could even raise a ticket.
So one of the larger outcomes there, or it sounds like one of the larger outcomes for me, is that the individuals who are relying on RNIB are actually trusting the service a little bit more.
Yeah, and have a better relationship with the tenancy staff as well. So yeah.
And it's not just about our customers, blind, partially sighted people. In fact, one of the key things to bear in mind is that we have a lot of staff, like myself, who are blind or partially sighted. So I'm not sure the figure, it varies. It's about 17 or 18% of our staff are blind or partially sighted, which is quite a high number. It's high number because it's very hard to get a job if you're blind and partially sighted, because there's lots of barriers in place. And something like ServiceNow being an accessible platform, it can be used by someone with a screen reader to put a ticket in, as well as someone who's got full sight. It's a big win for us, and going forward, we've got this message from the exec to make sure that all our systems are accessible. We'll actually kind of got an audit going on to look at all these systems, how accessible is that? We want to make sure that anything we get going forward is an accessible system.